Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson talking at a press conference earlier this afternoon. So, the original Kong, 32 years old. He made it out of his mum's fur coat. In fact, he started making things here, splatter movies, Bad Taste, Brain Dead, Meet the Feebles, with his mates on a budget of nothing, baking props in his mum's oven, filming them in the weekend, working during the week to get the money together, everyone working for free. We're going to show you some of those movies now, and we should say that some of them are fairly severely violent, although in hindsight it's kind of slapstick, really. So if you're watching with kids, you probably won't have to explain too hard that it's not real. It doesn't look that real. But now, Peter Jackson's mates look back on Peter Jackson's career beginning in splatter and gore.
Peter Jackson was the backyard obsessive whose vision was always epic. His first feature, Bad Taste, was meant to be a knockabout splatter, filmed in a few weekends. It grew into a full feature and took 4 years. He made it with his mates like Mike Minett and Craig Smith, and used his hometown of Wellington and its landmarks.
I think what set Peter apart was that he always saw himself as being a filmmaker. It was something that he'd focused on from a very early age, and if you go into his bedroom and the walls were covered with these very rare special effects magazines that he got in from the States.
He made the zombies himself and baked them in his mother's oven.
Mrs. Jackson would have to delay the Sunday roast so, you know, Pete could bake a head or something. Mrs. Jackson, I think, at one stage got in a case of baked beans, you know, to keep us all fed. Yeah.
I really met up with him when he was about 25, and he brought this film into the Film Commission. And we looked at it and thought, oh, this is really a bit unusual. It's a little bit, a bit off the wall, you know, something different. And the way he'd put it together, it was so funny. We were in fits of laughter watching some of the stuff go through. We went back to the Film Commission and said, this guy's got some talent. He really knows how to use a camera. He knows how to get sort of gags running well.
He became a splatter and zombie guy by studying the cult classics. And 10 years after Bad Taste, he'd shifted into the mainstream, showing he could do it straight, mixing romantic obsession and murder. But he was still plugged into New Zealand weirdness.
You look at Heavenly Creatures, and there's a similar theme running through that, you know. New Zealand, clean, green, God's own country, but there's a dark core underneath it.
By Heavenly Creatures, he was having an influence on the wider film world, helping shape stars like Kate Winslet.
So he started working with bigger budgets, and of course, once you got a bigger budget, you've got more at stake. At the end of the day, you've got to please a lot more people.
But he still retained an essence, you think, of what of the movie maker and person he is.
Yes, definitely. Peter will never change. He's always going to be the person with the vision that he's got, and the one thing about Peter, which is really amazing, I reckon, he'll always push the limits to the maximum. No matter what film he's doing, he'll push the technology and the limits to the max.
Lord of the Rings made him mega. He became the director with the mansion, rated the most powerful in Hollywood, paid the highest directing fee ever to shoot his boyhood dream, a remake of King Kong. The vision in his head built a film industry in the Wellington suburb of Miramar.
This is the new soundstage that we built. It's 24,500 square feet and one of the biggest in the world, and we shot all of King Kong here. This is the base we use for cutting the movies, we cut King Kong here. Here we have Peter's new pride and joy, his new post-production facility at Park Road Post. We do all the lab work and all the post-production work, sound recording, sound mixing, all that sort of finishing work for his films. Here we have Weta Digital, where we create all the awesome effects for the movies.
His friends say the essence of the man has not changed, even if fame has changed the way he lives.
He's a little bit more withdrawn within himself. If he's not quite so out there, because he's every time he goes into town or whatever, he's always asking for autographs, and people know. So he's such a recognised face and a recognised person. So that it's a bit harder now to do what we used to do, you know, in the days of bad taste, where we'd be getting in the camera and saying, oh, God, we've done a couple of hours work now, let's go down to the pub and have a few beers. And
we always get invited to the premieres, don't we?
They send us tickets every year to the premiere, that's good.
Yep, he remembers the boys, and we appreciate that.
And Peter Jackson himself is proof if you dream hard enough, you can make your life as memorable as the images you put on the screen.